All right, so looking at this one looks a little more complex because here we have 9s and 5s and 2s and 7s. So we're going to have to multiply top and bottom by something, and it's also going to have one of them's going to be negative, one's going to be positive. So let's say we multiply the top one by, well, 9s and 5s are bigger than this. So let's multiply this one times maybe a -7. And so that will give us a positive 14. And to get a negative 14, we'll have to multiply that by 2. So now we have to multiply. So that's going to give me what? -7 times that's negative 63x. Then that's going to be plus 14y. And then 18 times 7. So it's going to be 56. That's going to be a 12, 126. And it's going to be a positive. Okay. Now here, take times 2. Well, that's going to be a 10x. And then it's going to be minus 14y equals a minus 20. All right. So those cancel. And so we get a 3 and we get a 5 and a negative. And that equals. And here we subtract that. That's going to be 106. And that's the next still. I forgot that. Now divide by negative 53. And so x is equal to, well, if we take that times 2, we get 106, so it's going to be a negative 2. Okay. Now, plugging that back into one of the original equations, let's do the second one because it's a smaller number to multiply. So we'll take 5 times negative 2 minus 7y equals negative 10. So here, 5 times negative 2 is negative 10, so we have to add 10 to both sides. Negative 7y equals 0, y equals 0. Okay, so that's one of those nice ones that comes out. You don't have to actually divide by that because anything times 0 is going to give us 0. So we have our solution at this point before we check it, negative 2, 0. Now we have to check. So 9 times negative 2 minus 2 times 0 equals negative 18. Well, that's 0, so negative 18 equals negative 18. That looks good. And also, when you end up with 0 as one of the solutions, either x or y, it makes it a really easy problem because you can just say, well, that's 0, and then you just have to do one little calculation. Now we have 5 times negative 2 minus 7 times 0. Well, that's 0. And that's equal to negative 10. Well, that's negative 10 equals negative 10. So it checks there as well. And so we have our independent and consistent solution of negative 2 comma 0. Okay. And again, none of this really is hard. You just have to do some multiplication, then a little bit of subtraction, and then some division, and you get your answer, plug it back into the other one, and same thing. So just simple arithmetic is the big thing, and being able to determine which one you want to do. I could have taken the top one times a negative 5 and the bottom one times a 9, been with the same answer, and got the same solution. It just would have been a different way to work the problem. All right, well, looking at this one, I don't have it in the standard form. So what I need to do is I need to add x to both sides. So if I do that, I'll have a 9y, and then adding x, so it gives plus x equals a 7. Now, this isn't in the typical format. Usually we have x's then y's, but it really doesn't matter. And so what I'm going to do is I see I have to multiply by 2 here to get rid of the y's. I have to multiply by 4 here to get rid of the x's, actually a negative 4 here. I'm going to multiply by just a 2 because that's a smaller number. I always like to work with the simplest things as possible. And so that gives me now a negative 18y plus 4x equals negative 26. Now I have 2 times 9, so it's a 18y, and then plus 2x equals 14. Okay, well, those cancel. 4 plus 2 is 6x equals, and that looks like a negative 1, 2. Dividing by 6, x equals a negative 2, and I've got my first piece. Now, this is going to be kind of easy because now I can say, okay, well, 9y is equal to 7 minus a minus 2. And so I get 9y equals 7 plus 2, which is 9. Divide by 9, and so y equals 1. So now I'm saying my solution is a negative 2, 1 for this system of equations. But now I have to check and verify it. So 9 times 1 equals 7 minus a minus 2. 9 equals, and that's 7 plus 2 is 9. So yes, it works there. What about the other one? 9 times 1. Well, I'm the wrong one here. Going to check it again, the same equation. Minus 18 times 1 plus 4 times negative 2 equals negative 26. That's minus 18 minus, here that's 8 equals negative 26. 8 and 8, 16, carry 1 is minus 26 equals minus 26. It works in that one as well. So again, that's our solution. It's independent and consistent. And so that would be our final solution. Okay, the key again is doing the checks to make sure that is the correct answer, and then you can do the rest of your parts you have to put in. All right, well, this one looks like it's already set up nicely because we have y minus y. So we have a minus 14, 15, 16x equals a minus 32. Divide by negative 16. Looks like x equals a positive 2. All right, so that was pretty simple. Let's plug that into the top one because we already have it for y, so we'd just get a negative 7 times 2 plus y equals negative 10. Well, that's a minus 14, so if we add 14 to both sides, that gives us y equals 4. So now we're saying our solution to the system is 2 comma 4. But we still have to check it. So minus 7 times 2 plus 4 equals negative 10. That's a minus 14 plus 4 equals negative 10. 14 minus 4 is 10. It's negative. It checks there. Now negative 9 times 2 minus 4 equals minus 22. Well, that's a minus 18 minus 4 equals minus 22. 8 and 4 is 12. Carry, that's a minus 22 equals a minus 22. That checks. And so we do have another independent and consistent system. Okay, oops. Maybe we should circle that again a different way. All right. So again, a lot of, little tedious work to do and following through, making sure we do everything in the right order. And that's really the key. The math isn't hard. It's just, can you add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and get rid of the variable one of them first, solve for the first one, plug it back into one of the equations, solve for the second one, and then the checks really are the heavy lifting in this whole thing, is to make sure you have the right answer. If you don't do the checks, you don't know if you have the right answer. And if you do the checks and you have the right answer, you know you can't miss the problem. All right, let's stop there and we'll come back for more.